Coverage of the Swedish Elite League Speedway continues this Tuesday, 6 p.m. That's live on British Eurosport. Right now, though, we're at Thruxton, just about ready for the sidecars here, but we've right on cue. They settle for their warm-up lap. We've just seen a fantastic British Superbike race, one, though, that saw Dan Linfoot leading in the early stages. Started from the front row. We've got his team manager, Pete Extance, here from Quattroplan Kawasaki. Bournemouth Kawasaki, I should say, for this weekend. Pete, you must have been delighted with that performance. Dan said he wanted to run with the guys at the front, and that's exactly what he did. Yeah, he certainly did, Matt. And yeah, I'm really pleased for Dan. I'm pleased for the team. I think Dan will grow in stature. And strangely enough, I saw in the paddock he was speaking with Shaky, and he said, I learned so much, Shaky, from you. And when you're following people like Shaky and holding Shaky off for quite a while, and at one stage I thought Shaky was actually holding him up. Keogh was coming up. I was getting a little bit worried. I was trying to urge Dan on to pass him, but great for the team, great for the sponsors, and local circuit, Bournemouth Kawasaki, obviously local dealership, so yeah, very pleased, and pole position for race 2, fantastic. Yeah, exactly, starts from the front of the grid. James Whittam was just saying in commentary that perhaps Dan just needs to believe in himself a little bit more. He keeps talking about the fast guys and doesn't seem to include himself in that group, but he showed there in race 1 that he's well up there with them. Yeah, absolutely, no question at all. When we first met Dan, it was all about trying to make the showdown. It was about consistency, and Dan's shown consistency throughout. I think him and Shaky are the only riders so far to finish every race in the points, which is great for the team and great for Dan. So he's shown consistency. Now he needs to show belief, and he's starting to believe. A different Dan's coming out every weekend, week out, and you know, maybe the second race, maybe Alton Park, but it'll come, and we'll be tasting champagne, I'm sure. Right, so it's today. Thanks very much, mate. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, Dan Linfoot then will be starting from pole position in BSB Race 2. That's a little bit later this afternoon at 4:30. Right now, though, we've got the Eastern Airways Sidecar Championship race. So let's get back to our commentators for this one, which is James Whittam and Barry Nutley. Hello, Barry.
Thanks, Matt. Hello to you. What a wonderful, wonderful day we've got, and I'll tell you, this has been absolutely axed. The lead from Haggerty has been axed by Lovelock, who's eaten into it by 50 points so far this weekend. 2 races yesterday, and they have just reduced that advantage to 11 points. Edwards strong, Chaplow up to 4th. Andy Peach has scored 0 here this weekend, so this is his opportunity to make a bit of hay in the sunshine here at Thruxton. Stevens, Holland, he went well. He finished 2nd, so he is lining up 2nd on the grid. There you are. Ben Holland, Lee Watson in 2nd, ahead of Edwards and Haggerty, who came from the back yesterday to finish 4th. He is so fast, but the BMW of the previous winner, Roger Lovelock, the pole position man, the man on the right there, the green and orange Driver Wolf BMW, and away they go, off they go, fantastic, coming through. That was Mark Edwards. Mark Edwards going well too. So Edwards on the first lap here. Edwards alongside the Driver Wolf BMW, and alongside me, James Whittam. This is fast stuff. 8 laps will pass in the twinkling of an eye, James. Yeah, it will, and what these sidecar outfits have got around here is all these fast parts of the circuit. They've got actually more grip than the solos, especially on the right-handers. Lots of rubber on the road, lots and lots of centrifugal force. It's one of the most difficult circuits, this, for the passengers, because it looks like they just sat there for the majority of the time around the big right-handers, Village and Church, but in actual fact there's so much centrifugal force, it takes a bit of clinging onto. You can be thrown out the side really easy. Well, a year ago here at Thruxton we had 7 or 8 passengers in trouble. That's why the races are just 8 laps here. It's so hard on these right-handers, as you say, Village, Church, 145 miles an hour around there on these 3-wheelers, and it's unbelievably quick. But out in front, it's the BMW, the man who's won 2 races already. Sean Haggerty and James Neave, number 33 on the Suzuki, ahead of the Kawasaki of Ben Holland, the Finning Cat Kawasaki. But it's Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett on the Assured Office Solutions Kawasaki in 2nd place. Already double podiums here for these boys. Look at them going over the rumble strip. Here comes Haggerty. Haggerty on the inside as they come towards the start-finish line at the completion of lap 1. On lap 2, but no, denied by Mark Edwards. This is quick stuff. Yeah, it really is. And the other thing they've got to put up with around this Thruxton circuit is we see the solos kind of in and out of the undulations and sliding at the rear. They have quite a lot of suspension trouble compared to these outfits. These have nothing. Our number 19 has that's John Holden and Winkle, the Lancashire bearing. Well, that battle for 2nd, and Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett doing a great job of holding up, and right behind them queuing up the Finning Cat Kawasaki, runners-up yesterday afternoon. Sean Haggerty, meanwhile, scrapping with Mark Edwards to try and get past, but that's allowing Roger Lovelock to move ahead. And there's Ricky Stevens. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood out of it. They were on the podium yesterday too.
Yeah, they were.
That's
disappointing. Yep, disappointing for them.
So already something of attrition here. John Holden out of it, Ricky Stevens out of it. But race leaders now, Roger Lovelock on this BMW. He was quickest in qualifying by 1/100th of a second. And now Hegarty is pushing hard. The Caterpillar, Finning Caterpillar, Kawasaki of Ben Holland and Lee Watson staying with him. But still, it's Mark Edwards ahead. Mark Edwards firmly in second place. He loves it here. Comes from Ringwood. So we'll have spent quite a lot of time here at Thruxton on their open test sessions.
Yeah, one of the things, like I was saying, the solos have a lot more suspension travel. The outfits typically have about sort of 50 mil, which is nothing. It's around about, well, just less than 2 inches. So because they don't have as much wheel movement suspension-wise, instead of getting the bike going sort of sideways over these undulations, you get the rear wheel spinning. You'll see on the right-handers especially that the outfit passengers have to get all the weight over that driving rear wheel. You see just there. Otherwise, the thing would just go completely sideways over these bumps.
Hegarty on the Suzuki now acknowledged as being the slowest of the engines out there. It's so tried and tested, but it's not delivering 190 horsepower out of the box the way the BMW is.
Yeah, it's definitely the BM that's delivering the most power. And that's important because, remember, not like on a solo where they've got one rider and about 165, 270 kilo machine. They've got a lot more machine underneath them, and it's got a tow 2 riders as well. A lot harder on engines and solos.
Well, here comes Hegarty. Here comes Hegarty. Is he going to get it through? What a fantastic move he makes.
You wouldn't think that would ever work right around the outside.
It's trackcraft. He's got superb trackcraft. Now there's clear tarmac between Sean Hegarty and James Neve and the race leaders on lap 4, so we're on almost at half distance here.
Yeah, fastest man on track was Hegarty and Neve last time round at 1:18.5.
Edwards still in third, so looking at another podium here. And Hegarty
he's pushing. Hegarty's pushing on, I'll tell you.
Edwards then, but out in front, it's Roger Lovelock and Aki Alto.
Well, another fastest lap for Hegarty and Neve, 1:18.3, and that's a good half second, almost 6/10 of a second quicker than Lovelock and Alto. You can see the difference now, right on the back wheel.
Well, 50 points already. Hegarty only picked up 13. He had a DNF, that is, he retired in the first race with a broken lanyard. These drivers have a safety cord, if you like, attached to the engine, which, should they bail out, it kills the engine. That came out of its own accord, so that put him out of race 1. He started from the back of the grid yesterday afternoon and recovered to 4th, and now he's fighting back from 4th on the grid. He's got the race leader in sight. We know Hegarty's racecraft and trackcraft, and James, we're going to have to assume that it's going to be the chicane where he tries the move.
You would think so. It's just whether that Suzuki motor has the punch to get him in a position where he can outbrake Lovelock into the chicane or anywhere else.
Well, he's trying. He's riding every which way. The wheel just lifting. That's the way he's getting maximum drive. He's just keeping it very fine. He's on the inside here, and he's going to drive through, but no, Lovelock. Oh, no! Oh, goodness me. Look at that.
That's going to go... There's neither of them going to keep going. There's
unbelievable.
How did they get away with that?
That is... How? Dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Call that a racing incident.
I couldn't speak. Well, both outfits are completely damaged. That's lost half the bodywork. That isn't going to go much further.
The wheel arch is gone. That would be black flag without a wheel arch.
Completely,
in any case.
And the wheel arch is actually on one of the fastest parts of the track. That could be a red flag, that.
They've both lost wheel arches. What?
I couldn't speak there, Barry, because I was just waiting for that whole lot to turn over there.
There's the wheel arch.
That's probably Lovelock's wheel arch, and that's Hegarty's wheel arch in the background.
We could easily get a red flag here, but meanwhile, at the front, we've now got daggers drawn at the front between Ben Holland and Lee Watson.
They'll have seen all that as well. And
fantastic stuff.
The outfits went onto the inside there, and then if they had turned over, they'd have gone scuttling back across the track and probably done more damage. Here we go, look.
Well, I think what happens is once that Hegarty gets on the inside...
Lovelock turns into him, not knowing he's there, to be honest.
He does. And then once it goes sideways, then there's no way back from that, because they get locked together. There's the initial touch. Oh. There's the initial touch. That was really...
That is
so
scary.
They didn't roll.
130 miles an hour and absolutely no control whatsoever for either of the drivers. Dodging cars at 120 mile an hour.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And rubbing their hands with glee. Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett go through.
They'll take that when they can.
Thank you very much, chaps. And now that's what rivalry between these two. These are the two guys at the top of the championship as well. They're not rabbits. Hegarty's in pit lane. Lovelock's in pit lane. Let's have a look here. What are they going to do? It's not going to be handbags at dawn, is it?
I think they're going to be just happy that they're both still there, to be honest. That could have been really nasty. I don't think there'll be any recriminations there. Sure. That was, as I see it, a racing incident. I think Hegarty went up the inside. He thought that Lovelock had seen him. Lovelock didn't see him. Turned across, the bikes got hooked together.
Well, it's nothing if not entertaining, eh?
Oh, that's a bit more than entertaining. I couldn't speak. I was just waiting for a massive accident to occur there.
I think we've just heard it first. You couldn't speak.
It's never happened before, Barry.
Unbelievable. Here we are on the last lap then. Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Just look at them. Oh, that's the BMW. That's the BMW in the pits. And you can see there's a fluid leak as well coming out of that. So serious damage sustained there. So no points for either of those crews. But that has certainly livened up the championship. Ben Holland then on the last lap is our new race leader. 0.6 of a second ahead of Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett. And Craig Chaplow, Patrick Farrance are going to be on the podium here. There's still debris on the circuit. Well, James, give us your opinion on that. Fantastic.
I think they're nuts. I don't know what was going on there. The scary thing about the incident was the length of time it took to either go, it was going to go badly wrong or it was going to sort itself out. It was happening for a long, long time, and that's scary as a rider.
Thank goodness for wide open grass spaces.
Yeah, completely, yeah.
Brilliant stuff here at Thruxton. Fantastic then on the final lap. This is the battle now for the top step of the podium. Ben Holland and Lee Watson, who came to a storming second place yesterday afternoon, are going to go one better, climb to the top step of the podium. Just this chicane to negotiate, but they've got Mark Edwards, who's very determined. But now it's the sprint to the flag, and the line awaits. This is it, 8 laps completed of a fantastic race, top step of the podium. Victory confirmed for the Finning Cat Kawasaki of Ben Holland. Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance are on the podium for Team E8 Motorsport. And wonderful, wonderful. And who's this coming over? Ben Bygrave and Justin Sharp in 4th place from Gary Horsepole and Jimmy Connell. First time ever here. What great stuff. Simon Gilbert in 6th place with John Allen. But there it is. There it is. Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Race winners, Holland and Watson. Well, that was nothing if not eventful. This might be 100 years since the start of World War I. We've just seen almost World War III here. That's Lovelock's wheel arch as he and Sean Hegarty had a massive coming together, which resulted in a victory for Ben Holland and Lee Watson from Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett. Craig Chaplow, Patrick Farrance on the podium for the first time. Bygrave and Sharp 4th. Horsepole, great ride for him. Simon Gilbert 6th. Tony Brown 7th. Ian Guy, Ian Drown, and Rod Robinson collected 6 points there for 10th place. Wonderful, wonderful. Rupert Archer back in the points again. Stephen Kershaw was going so strongly earlier in the week. Don't know what happened. He rode well yesterday, but he dropped to 12th. Hegarty credited with a place just ahead of Lovelock. Well, fantastic stuff. And in the sunshine here, that really had the crowd on their toes on the back of that wonderful superbike race we've just seen. Now you can see the gap, still only 11 points between those two because neither of them scored, but Mark Edwards has closed significantly. Chaplow consolidates his 4th place in the standings with that wonderful podium. Ben Holland did himself a power of good. He's getting stronger and stronger. Andy Peach still on 108. What a dismal weekend he's had. Tony Brown, Ben Bygrave, Stevens and Kershaw in 10th. Gary Horsepole going well on 58. John Holden, we saw him retire. He and Andy Winkle pulled out in that one. Grabmuller's retired from the series, so we won't be seeing the Austrian anymore. And Simon Gilbert enhanced. He's on 47. Well, Lots going on here at Thruxton. Of course, there's another big superbike race, the British Superbike Championship, race 2 to come up, and a massive crowd here in the sunshine. It's a good job they weren't here yesterday because we had 2 terrific thunderstorms that caused an hour's delay in qualifying. Such were the conditions here at Thruxton, but the heat shimmering across and everyone enjoying this revised date because Thruxton normally takes place earlier in the calendar. So nice to be here in August.
Lee, Ben, congratulations. Fantastic ride to the victory there. Bit of an incident that perhaps helped you out a little bit, but you must be well chuffed with your performance here.
Yeah, we're over the moon. It's nice to finally get our first victory. Yeah, it's good for the team as well. They've worked really hard with the bike this season. We're a little bit fortunate to take it, but I'll take it. Physical
circuit as well. You had to work hard for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I found it harder yesterday than I did today, actually. I don't know, I just found my flow. Not having to battle him back from the back of the grid, but no, Ben drove spot on. As soon as I saw the collision, I thought, oh, this could be a bit hairy, but got through, and I knew exactly what was on his mind and where he was going to do it and everything, so it worked out brilliantly.
Congratulations, boys, well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, 8 laps was always going to be frantic round here, but from pole position, Roger Lovelock and the #1 driver, Wolf outfit, knew he had to get the hammer down from the word go, and go he did. But Mark Edwards, Lee Barrett pushed hard, made their intentions very clear from the word go, but the finning cat Kawasaki of Ben Holland was with them. But from 4th place on the grid, Sean Hegarty and James Need, the number 33, pushed and pushed and pushed, eventually muscling their way past Mark Edwards. Once they got Lovelock in their sights, that is when battle commenced. And how battle commenced. It was unbelievable. A massive coming together between these two, where they touched, pushed Lovelock sideways just a little bit. They were then locked together across the grass at very high speed, 130 miles an hour. Fortunately, everybody stayed calm. Bits fell off the outfit, but their races were over. That handed 1st and 2nd place, and indeed a podium place to Chaplow. But Edwards went ahead. He was soon to be overhauled as these two, unfortunately for them, the race was not red flagged. These two scrapped. The finning cat Kawasaki of Holland and Watson made it past Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett, and that was it to the flag. You could see the jubilation on Lee Watson's head. Fantastic. Chaplow and Farrance, World Championship passenger, on the podium here at Thruxton for Team EA Motorsport. Waiting for the podium here in the sunshine, and what an eventful Thruxton it's been. Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance on the podium. Their sponsors, their team, they all worked so hard. These sidecar crews will be delighted. It was a very, very eventful race, and that's the 3rd visit this weekend to the podium for Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett. But a very popular victory indeed for the yellow and black boys, Ben Holland and Lee Watson, as they climb to the top step. You heard it from Ben Holland himself, for their first joint podium in the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship. Nothing if not eventful, and multi-British champion Roger Marshall presenting the trophies. He knows what the heat of competition is all about, and what a job these boys have done. Patrick Farrance smiling from ear to ear. It's been a while since he's been on the podium, but of course he did win a TT. Champagne splashed, there'll be a bit of that drunk. The boys' weekend is finished, but what a way to finish. Victory for Holland and Watson.
That was fun, wasn't it? We've got a quick break now, and when we come back, more racing from Thruxton with the Motul Motorstar British Championship. That's next.